I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mike, would you go ahead and recite the mission statement, please?
Sure. The mission of the Lyon Township DDA is to assist public and private development efforts to stimulate residential, commercial, and industrial growth and create a vibrant community where people live, work, and play.
And then Amy, would you do the roll call, please?
Yep. Canfield.
I'm here.
Gezzy.
Here.
Casey.
Here.
Minor.
Present.
Pajak.
Here.
Piccinini.
Here.
Ruffin.
Here.
And then Dolan and Egan both had conflicts for tonight's evening, so they won't be attending.
Okay, next on the agenda, approval of the consent agenda, which would include the March meeting minutes, the May meeting minutes, and our disbursements for May.
I had a question on the minutes, probably more of a discussion point. I know we're trying to really narrow down what we're doing with our minutes, expand and narrow all at the same time, be more clear. And in the meeting minutes from May as well as March, under the section of reports, it just says who did the reports. It just says Lisa Gezzy did a report for design and appearance. Paula Ruffin did a report for promotions. Do we want to have a little bit of expansion there, or are we going to just refer people back to the timestamp? Because like in the March meeting minutes, there was this timestamp of, I think, like 30 minutes when we got to the reports, and then I'm not sure, but the next timestamp was like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So there's this huge gap for the report, so if somebody wanted to see a specific report, those should probably be timestamped if they're going to be of that minimal point.
What I would say, just for a point of order, is we can pull both the March and May meeting, or if it's just March that you're concerned with, and put it on for items removed from the consent agenda, because we can't have discussion during the consent agenda approval.
Okay,
so
got it.
we can pull it off of there and add it. Did you want March?
March and May are both reflective of that. Yep.
Yep, we can put that under the item 12. We'll put discussion of minutes.
Great, thank you.
So, Dr. Paul, if you're
Yes.
moving the minutes to item 12, did you want to make that motion with that?
Oh, sure. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to approve then I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for March 10th and May 12th, including disbursements for May 26th. Elisa, we're good with that? You didn't pull anything on that, right? We're good for disbursements.
I think you want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the disbursements, but to pull the minutes to later.
Including
in
the
meeting.
disbursements.
You want to discuss the disbursements too?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just wondering. I didn't know if Elisa had anything on disbursements.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want the 2 minutes pulled.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including March 10th, May 12th, and disbursements for May 2026, while pulling the minutes for March 10th and May 12th for discussion later in the meeting.
Just to be clear, the motion would be just to approve consent agenda item C, and then to move items A and B to item 12 for further discussion.
It's been a long day, Matt.
It has. Just.
I agree.
What Matt said.
Support.
Okay.
I second. Okay, so I have a motion and a second.
This isn't starting off.
I'm sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now we have an amended agenda. This is the next motion that I'm in need of.
Approval of agenda or amended?
The amended, because we just added those to 12.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Did I get it right?
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any announcements or communications at this time?
Tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Music on the Green.
I know, but that's
That's an
for my
announcement.
committee report, isn't it?
It's an announcement to the
All right, it's an
public.
announcement. We have Music on the Grand is starting tomorrow, June 10th, 6 to 8 at the New Hudson United Methodist Church. So, yes, so everyone is welcome. Please come. It's going to be amazing. Water slides for the kids. It's going to be awesome.
And volunteers are needed.
Yes, always volunteers. Thank you.
Okay, so we will bring up the public. I just want to remind everybody that there is a 2-minute time to address the board and the room, and that we will have 2 calls to the public. So we will do a call to the public now. We will ask you not to come up during agenda items, and then if something does come up during the meeting that you want to discuss at the end, we will have a call to the public at the end as well. You're welcome to come up at both times. So right now, I'll welcome anyone to the mic.
Hello, my name's Kelly Sullivan. I live in New Hudson, and I volunteer with the DDA, planting flowers, picking out banners, things like that. I was also one of the citizens that sat on the review committee for the last TIF, which we had some wonderful plans for things that we want to bring to the township that'll enhance, having residents and non-residents alike come and enjoy our beautiful community. I'd like to say that all of those things should be put on hold right now with not knowing the status of what's happening with the development of Project Flex, that between the construction noise, if it begins, and if they get online, the horrible hum and noise that'll be there. I don't know that if we're throwing good money before, something that's going to be bad, if it'll be facilities that will not be used by the public just because of, the fallout of Project Flex. So I'm hoping that you consider that when you discuss budgeting and when you discuss looking forward and prioritizing which activities and which building projects we want to move forward, because I know there's lots of great ideas. If they're in that downtown area, probably want to hold off. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Julie Lynn Gibbons. This is actually my first DDA meeting, but I have been watching plenty online, so I just want to thank you, first of all, for the decisions that you've made of late to promote transparency in terms of the budget and where things are going. I think that's really important to taxpayers. I also am really encouraged by the fact that you all have set the budget meeting to be open to the public. I think that's also important, so I appreciate that. And I would just ask that because so much is in flux, that I think we need to be cautious with funds. We might need them for something else. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Erin Berger. I think you should cancel everything due to the upcoming lawsuit that's being threatened. And we need to be prepared for that financially. So I think you should cancel everything. Save your money because we're going to need it. All right. Have a good night.
I'm going to have to talk really fast. I would like give you some homework. I would like you all to reread the master plan that was done. It's 100 pages. I can't tell you how many times it is referenced about our beautiful rural community and the rural community atmosphere we want to have. So the distance to the New Hudson Inn is 0.38 miles. The Mexican restaurant that just redid the front of their face and put outside eating is 3.6 miles. No, I'm sorry, 0.36, 0.38. Music on the Park will be 3.4. Huron Valley Guns, hey, I'm sure you guys are all happy about that one, 0.13. Cider Mill, I think that one was 0.9. Walmart, 0.5. Airport, 0.3. Abbey Park, 0.18. 2 daycares, 3.37. The Wellhead, it's real close, and I don't even know the real location of it because I think that's a secret. Haas Park, 2 miles. How many people are going to be in Haas Park with nothing breaking the sound going their way? Not many. Oh, Cider Mill is 2 miles, sorry. The new library, 1.7. So sitting out in front in those great chairs we have out there. Del Webb, 1.6. Senior Center, 0.69. I don't understand. And that's just that amount of people. All your businesses, Paula, I think you're right up there with your business. All the ones that back up to it. The Nature Walk is like 0.2. Why are we doing this to the center of our city? You can't make it look beautiful. It's never going to look like Farmington Hills. But you're not going to do anything to improve it. And then you put on top of it the Four Corners. We've had property on sale on like 3 of them. Why can't we get people to get these? There was a restaurant there at one point on one corner. Now we can't even get the White House tore down.
Thank you, Amy. We'll have to move on, please.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate what you're doing.
Hello, my name's Leanne Roy. I've been in these meetings at the beginning and kind of pulled back and have come back into them. And one thing I've noticed is this massive intimidation and bullying tactic. And quite honestly, there's a member on the board who's working with a company that just threatened to sue our township. It feels really scary to even say that to you, as you're staring at me. There's been members of business owners.
Hey,
I won't look at her, that's all. I just turned the other way. She said I was looking.
don't do that. She's talking. Robin.
My apologies.
Thank you.
Okay. It's okay, you can look at me. I'm just expressing, right, that power differential here. Right, okay. There's been business owners that have come forward at the board meetings saying that they're being threatened 3 times, 3 different meetings. They have stepped forward and said small businesses in the downtown area are being threatened. They've received a letter. Has anyone on this board reached out to those people and kind of pursued what's happening there? Again, that's terrifying. This is Lyon Township. It seems like there's some things that are happening that are not necessarily above board there. I don't know if they're true or not, but it's a bad look, right? These are publicly broadcasted meetings, and when we have business leaders saying that they're getting intimidated to thousands of people online on the news, right? It's a bad look for our township. Not to mention, I think I forgot what my last thought was. But I guess I just want to pay attention to this intimidation factor and kind of try to clear the air on that so that we can all feel safe coming to the podium and talking about it, and our peers. Oh, the last thing was the Kite Festival. I noticed there was not very many local businesses or nonprofits there. It seemed like Walbridge kind of dominated that space. So it just made me think, are businesses afraid to step into those places with the township because of this thing that's the unspoken thing that we're not going to all talk about it. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
My name's Lynn Rhodes. I'm from New Hudson, and I want to thank all of you for your due diligence and trying to promote transparency in the area and showing people that not all board members are bad and you can be trusted. I know you've stood up for some of the bullying and intimidation that's gone on, and I would like to emulate their thoughts on maybe stopping any funding that we've had going on for extracurricular activities in the area, because myself, I would like to see the money going towards legal counsel if we need it, because bullying is not going over well, and I know a lot of the township residents feel the same way. And though I think everything that you're trying to do to make the community better is great, but I would rather have quality of life without all of the extras. So please consider that.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Barker. I live in New Hudson. I've been going to a lot of the meetings since January, February, really when the discussion about the data center began. In looking at all of the meetings I've attended and the sentiments expressed, I don't really see how the township can move forward with the data center. I mean, I guess even in looking at the basics of making a decision, as I said last night, and I apologize for anybody that was here last night, my work career has been in business development and sales, and I guess one of the things that I found very troubling was how there was specific things that were requested by the township for Walbridge to provide, and a lot of them haven't been provided. I heard instances where they've said they're not going to be providing it. And to me, I guess in the business world, I knew this is more of a township or municipal issue, that would be disqualifying right there. I mean, in any kind of a scenario, somebody would say, well, sorry, you're not going forward then. So I really think we need to move to a formal decision to decline the opportunity for the data center or deny any further access. And I think that that should be done as soon as possible, because now it's starting to impact different people's plans, municipal or township plans, and I really think that it needs to be done very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robin Allen, lifetime Lyon Township resident. I just urge I don't know what the DDA can do at this point. I want to call out kudos, Mike, for coming to the Planning Commission meeting, speaking out against it, and you've done that all along. Kudos. In regards to Mr., how do I pronounce it? Piccini, is that correct? Piccini. Okay, all right. I don't think we should have I know DDA wants to have business owners on the DDA. Mr. Piccini is not a business owner. He's a business employee. He should not be on the DDA. He's got a biased opinion. Got to think what else I wanted to say. I just urge that we need to reject this. And if Walbridge wants to take us to court, bring it on. I'll write a huge check to add to the defense fund. We do not want this. The public does not want this. 1,000%. public doesn't want this. You know, all the meetings that we've had, you've had maybe one person at each meeting speak in support of it. And that's because they work for the workers that are going to build a place. Nobody else that lives in the township wants this. It's going to lower our property values. Nothing good. Nothing as good is going to come of this. So I urge the DDA, Planning Commission, Township Board to outright reject this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Cecil George. I said I will attend every meeting. I live in Lyon Township, and I'm running for state senate in this district, District 13. I only came here to address you. You're the assistant president of Wallbridge, right? And you're on the board. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running. It's for ethics. There should be no reason for you to be on the board and also trying to get something built at the same company that you work for. That is a conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
And that's why one of the bills I'm running on is public service conflict of interest, because these type of things should not happen. That's just patting your pockets without caring about anyone else that's behind me. So I will keep showing up. You should resign if you have any ethics. That's all I have to say, because I have somewhere else to be right now.
Anybody else want to come up to the mic at this time? There will be another time at the end of the meeting. Okay, we're going to close the call to public at this time and move on with the agenda. Up next is engineering report. Leslie, is there anything specific you wanted to go over the submitted report for us?
I'll just touch on a couple of projects that are included in the memo that should be in your packet. The Southeast Ring Road, we did finally get comments from the Road Commission. We've addressed most of them this week, and we're expecting to transmit them back to the Road Commission for hopefully an approval on Thursday. And I have followed up with WRC about that drain permit as well. So that's in process. I'm trying to push to get those finalized. And then the Hawk.
What exactly are you talking about? Is this the Eagle permit or?
No, the Road Commission approval for the Southeast Ring Road. We submitted the plans in December, and we just got their comments about 2 weeks ago. And they had reviewed the wrong set of plans. It was a whole thing. So we've addressed all of their concerns, though, and we're just doing a final check on the plans right now. And hopefully Thursday they're back in their office. If not, it'll be Friday or Monday. And then the Hawk Signal, the Rawhorn has been struggling. They've made 2 attempts to do the foundation, and the township officials authorized bringing in Rorschach as a sub-consultant. They authorized that the amount today, and I updated the Township Board of Trustees also via email today on that. One thing that I neglected to put in the report, I forgot about it honestly, is the design group was on last night's planning commission meeting for a special land use and a site plan for it's a separate building, but this would be their 3rd site plan application. And my recommendation was to table the site plan because there is some impact on the township's wellhouse driveway. But the special land use was recommended to be approved, but it won't go to the board until such time that the site plan is satisfactory from the water committee. So the water committee has some concerns. But I forgot to put that in the report, and I want to make sure I mention that tonight. So those are the engineering highlights.
Can I ask a question on the Hawk Signal?
Yes.
I'm just curious, did they not anticipate rock when they drilled? I mean, and even if like they didn't, I mean, we drill through this stuff all the time, so why is it taking them so long to figure out a solution?
It was the size of the boulder they couldn't get through. So the little
Not
rock
even,
they
did they get the special tip and all of that, or?
Well, Rorschach will be bringing that in. Rawhorn doesn't have the equipment to do it themselves. And
Okay.
so there was a second attempt to move the pole location to see if we could miss it, and they struggled with that too. They tried it for a day, and then we kind of just canceled it. We met with Jason Egan, actually, and they have the specialized equipment that will be needed, and it's really like threading a needle. The casing is barely going to fit between a gas main and a sewer main. So it will fit, but barely. So that's the path forward. So we're waiting on a schedule from Jason when they can get out there, and then hopefully get through this and get this thing constructed.
Any idea on time, like weeks, months? I mean,
well, when we met with him, it sounded like he had an opening that popped up, but I haven't heard back. We just gave them the authorization today after we met with the officials. So it's fresh.
Okay, got it.
With it being that tight to utilities, is there any type of certification that needs to happen after they finish to make sure that nothing was nicked, no leaks?
Oh, well, no.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes. If it's the sewer line, there will be sewage shooting out of the ground, and if it's the gas,
I missed the
everyone
sewer.
will smell
I heard the
it.
gas, I missed the sewer. So point taken.
Yes, and if they hit anything, I hope it's the sewer because it's easier to fix.
Can we discuss this?
Sure.
So Leslie is giving us updates every time of this, the expenses. And so I just kind of want to clarify our buckets of approved originally, additional services, and out of scope payments to other people. So is this part on the top, Leslie, the white, like it looks to me like the 308 is equivalent to kind of the 310 or something, and then there's, hold on, I'm actually, like we've approved 358, but then we've spent 323 and then additional services for 190. So there are a lot of additional services that aren't in the approved, like shouldn't the,
Well, I can explain that.
yeah, go.
So
My numbers aren't working.
The peach. So the blue. Okay, let's just go to the peach because you're asking about additional services, right?
Yeah.
So those are hourly. So
Yes.
that wasn't coming back to the DDA asking for authorization, let's say for right-of-way negotiation. That's when I was asked to attend meetings that most of that is right-of-way acquisition.
Okay.
So it was essentially when I'm requested to attend to do these things or to just go handle them. Some of them I've met with the owners without some of the township officials. Like for example, the first Rorschach meeting, I met with them by myself. And that goes back several years. Some other things were applying for grants. That was in there when I was requested to do different summaries and project descriptions and mapping and all kinds of things like that. I don't have all of my invoices with me tonight, but I mean, I can look at them if there's a specific question, but that's what that entails. So it wasn't, there wasn't a situation where, like in the top, the white, where I'd come back and I came back to the board and said, these items are out of scope. This is the amount of money it would take to complete those tasks, and then they were authorized. Those were really as requested, as needed hourly services.
So the 308, when we paid you, has been blue, correct?
Yes.
And then the 10,000, is that what we're paying Atwell? We paid, and so that's an out of scope, so that would actually be pink then?
Yes, and I'm,
Okay.
well, and if you paid, I don't remember, Elisa, if you paid them directly or if we did. So I'd have to check on that because that goes back to 2024.
What I'm trying to help us do is add, like we just approved this $25,000 in May. And so as it describes, CES, that's a pink amount for 19,977.
No, it's a peach.
Sorry, peach. And the ASTI is pink for 5,000. Does that make sense to everybody?
because it's going to be additional. And so we will use this to show what we've approved, but these approvals, some of them are these and some are these other buckets, okay? And so this is what we've paid, but these additional things are going to be different colors. So maybe if we can figure out what colors the contract updated and the expense approved 61025 is. That
for what?
That on the white, the 10,000, the 14.9, and the 25.
Additional contract services, are they for hourly additional services? No. Well,
or do we know or we don't know?
They would end up under the P. Well, okay. So the expense approved, the revised culvert design, that would be under the peach, and that was. I think that's how Christy has it under the peach. Now, Christy's our office manager, in case anybody wonders. So the contract update for the Atwell, that's the only one I'd have to check if that's under the peach or the pink.
Okay. So I'll follow up with you and Christy and Amy and to fix that top part so that we can figure out where those are.
Well, what do you mean fix the top part?
Because I would love you to make the 14.9 peach, like you have the 19.2 blue. And then if we paid it, the 10,000 should be pink. If it was part of something that you paid and we paid you back, then it should be peach. And then the 25,000 should be peach with a little bit of pink.
If I understand what you're asking correctly.
It's going to be on, I don't know how to do that.
I'll come back and I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, I think if I'm understanding what you're asking for, you're just wanting to align what's in the top section to the totals.
Yes, this is what we've approved, this is what we've spent.
Okay.
She just wants to know out of that.
Of what we've approved, what bucket it goes into.
Okay, I can ask
just
that.
aligning the line items to the overall totals.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Leslie? Right, we'll move on to Brian with the planner's report, please.
Thank you. Thank you. A couple things to update from our report. The Project Flex, the third submission of the final site plan, was submitted to the township on May 27th. So the consultants have begun their reviews on that set of plans, and once we've completed that, we'll determine next steps. We'll be issuing letters, and those will go out on the township website as we've done for the last couple of revisions. So that's where we're at on that project. I mentioned in our report that there were several public hearings on the Planning Commission agenda last night. The Grand River Retail was a drive-through proposal across the street on this vacant parcel. The Planning Commission recommended denial of the special land use for that project. There was a religious use in a residential district on Milford Road that was tabled, and a special land use review for the Design Group, which is one of your active businesses on Ambassador Parkway, and that project was also tabled pending the information that Leslie talked about. So that was the update from last night. I also mentioned in this report that LDC 4, a site plan extension, was on that agenda. I amended the agenda to remove that so that I could review some information that had been submitted previously and hadn't been reviewed. So that will be on an upcoming agenda. I think the only other item that I'd like to highlight from our report, I don't think in the past I have presented or reported to the DDA that last year I applied for a grant with MISTA, which is the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. They had $50,000 grants available for their housing readiness program, which is a program that allows communities to either update their master plan, do market studies, do zoning ordinance updates, all relating to identifying and addressing housing needs in the community. We were a recipient, or the township was a recipient of that grant as a result of the application, and so we've been doing the background information relating to that study. we're getting to a point where we will be sitting down with township officials and talking about policy and what that means for upcoming ordinance amendments if we want to make them or need to make them. So I mentioned in this report that all of the densest housing districts in the township are here in your DDA, and so as we get a little bit farther into this, I do want to report to the DDA. Maybe we'll put a special agenda item on one of your normal agendas, and we can talk housing when we're ready to do so. So I think other than that, I can have any questions that you might want to ask. Other than that,
I have a question.
Yes.
Just on this LDC 4, so just a spec building, it's just built and they haven't figured out what to use it for, right?
Correct.
And now they want an extension on it. So the extension is 600 square feet, or it's currently 600 square feet and they want an extension?
So this project is approved. It has site plan approval, but it is not constructed yet.
Okay.
But when it is to be constructed, it would be a spec building. So it would be without a tenant.
Okay.
The way that we handle those approvals is the building itself can get approved, and then when a tenant is identified and we can actually get into the details about the operation, it comes back through for another public hearing. So
are we, I don't know what the zoning is on that or what the ordinances are, but can we get ahead of that, or what are the ordinances, what does the land use say, so we can get ahead of it so there's no more hot topic buildings and businesses coming into the community? Like, can we reserve that, or can we put guardrails around that?
So it's zoned I-2 right now.
Which is what?
Which is the heavier of the industrial districts.
Would that qualify for another data center then?
Well, right now, so it's an interesting question.
And how do we prevent that?
The answer is no.
Okay.
We're under the moratorium, and so a new tenant on there is going to be subject to whatever large land use ordinance comes into effect.
Can we talk about, and I guess I don't know enough about the land uses. I think the data center has really shed light on, I don't really know what all these definitions mean. And I'd love for maybe that to be we can have that at a future date, but I'd love to have a further conversation about what all these land uses mean. And when you say it's zoned for, what'd you say, IL, whatever?
I-2. Yeah.
I-2. What all does that mean, and what could we be looking at, and what concerns should we have based on what that definition entails?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to have that as an agenda item someday?
I think maybe we can kick that down to the next meeting, because wasn't expecting to have a deeper conversation about it, but I'm looking at it. Doesn't seem to be like any impending concern, but that would be a concern for me, is how do we stay ahead of these things so we don't have more community, create more of this for the community, is my thought. So.
Okay. Just a thought, Paul. It might make more sense maybe to get an update on the current moratorium for large land use, just because that's going to be changing a lot of their zoning standards for I-2. And we can maybe discuss, let's maybe talk to Brian and see if it makes sense to put that in a meeting like this, or if maybe we have him come to one of the organizational meetings.
Okay. Sure.
Just because I know a lot of the work that you're doing on the moratorium is going to directly impact anything, so I don't want you to spend time updating
especially these
current
larger
standards if
buildings.
they're all going to change.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good suggestion.
Okay. Yeah, just protecting ourselves so we can stay ahead of that ball. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And Brian, just real quick on the MSHA stuff that you had mentioned, it was a little vague. Are you working with the township board on that? Who's the leading? Because you mentioned ordinances changing, potential like reviewing ordinances and maybe changing things like that, and that spans multiple boards, obviously. So who's the leads that you're working with on that?
Right now, it's just an administrative preparation. Myself and my staff are creating the work product for that. Typically on these grant items, the actual report itself would end up just going straight to the township board when it's complete. But if it results in recommendations for an ordinance amendment, for example, we would go through the standard ordinance amendment process, so that would go to the Planning Commission for a public hearing and so on. So the overall deliverable that I owe back to MISTA to show that yes, we've used their money towards a housing study, that will go through the township board. But the individual elements may be broken off and go to several boards. None of the scopes of the project are anything that need a formal approval or buy-in by the DDA. I would absolutely love to be able to go back to MISTA and say, hey, look, the DDA is on board with the findings or the objectives or the recommendations of this plan. So we could do that as an intended outcome. Make sure you guys are all happy with that study also.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And so to be clear, the grant itself was for the study itself, not necessarily driven by an outcome, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah, depending on, and it kind of comes down to budget too. So like if we get to, maybe we spend $35,000, $40,000 on the study and we're comfortable with it, we're going to use the additional monies towards preparing the ordinances and things. So it does depend a little bit on how much progress we make.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Jeff, can we wait till the end? Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Amy, quick question. How often do we do the review of the year-to-date budget? Are we doing that?
Usually do it
Quarterly? Okay. So I want to propose something where what I've been working on the last couple months has been, first I took the CES invoices that we had and kind of refined some of the categories that we put things in. So when Amy shares her budget, she's going to have very generalized buckets. And then we have further categorized buckets that I'm doing. And so I'm thinking that it probably would be smart that like the month after you do yours, then this is the amount that we paid CES, and then next month I can tell you how did we break that amount down into the various categories. Because I don't need to do that monthly.
I would say that there'll be a little bit of
discrepancy.
A discrepancy,
numbers,
yeah, because of how billing shows up on my reports I get versus how soon you account for it.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't think that's, it's not going to be that huge and substantial. So this past month, so I shared last month kind of some of our categories that we're using for CES. This month we were working on Rosati, so I went back and categorized all of 2026. So if you look in the packet for this month, in the past we would, for Rosati bills, just highlight, the 1980 amount that the DDA was paying Rosati in the midst of all the other bills that the township was paying. Moving forward, we're just going to show what the DDA is paying and how that breaks out into categories. So if you look at this month's face page, it shows 968 was DDA meetings and attendance, 88 document review, 308 New Hudson Road vacation, 550 for easements and right-of-ways for the Southeast Ring Road, and 66 for sidewalks. So those are some. There's a couple more categories that we added given the total expenses from January to May. But again, so I think next month what I can do is just in my, I can give to you as part of this, just we can quarterly just give you guys an update of where we are in terms of the subcategories of what we're paying our consultants. Does that sound good? I will stop using categories and I'll use buckets.
I miss it.
Any questions about that plan? No. Okay, thanks.
Now your 2 minutes are up.
Okay, Economic Vitality Committee, we have been meeting with a lot of the businesses over the last 2 months. Really, we've kind of doubled down on ribbon cuttings, on 10-year anniversaries, and on new business and retention business visits. Smiles of Grand River celebrated their 10-year business anniversary Walmart had their grand reopening, which is very nice. We were able to meet some new owners at some other businesses this month, and we plan to continue getting to as many businesses as possible. Between our committee and Amy and Angie have been instrumental in helping with that and sharing that on social as much as possible as well. So if we know any other businesses that would like to talk and learn how they can collaborate with the DDA and other businesses, we'd love to make those connections. And we will have a July event coming up, so watch the calendar for that. If you are a business owner or operator or know a business owner operator, we'd love to see you there. That's about it. If anyone has any questions. Promotions.
Music on the Grand starts tomorrow. We have our first concert tomorrow. Super excited at the New Hudson United Methodist Church. Where's Pastor John? Oh,
He's there. Inspiration Park.
And we have, I told them to send an email to Mother Nature and God to make sure the storm moves around us. So he's usually pretty good about that. So Inspiration Park from 6 to 8 tomorrow. We have so many great things planned this season. It's an easy way just to get out and have fun and just meet your neighbors and just connect with other people. So invite everybody out. Yes, we're always looking for volunteers. Last month's meeting, we approved to join up with the Huron Valley Chamber. So I'm going to be creating some connections with all of our committee chairs and our director, and hopefully come up with a plan for them to add more stuff. So if anybody has any ideas or want to see some things coming to Lyon Township, please let us know. We also are going to be attending Thursday night the Main Street Oakland County Awards ceremony. It'll be our third year, I think. First year we went 2 years ago. We came home with one or two awards. Two awards. Last year we came home with two. There are 21 Main Street communities in Oakland County. And so for us who we're baby Main Street people, so to get involved and to bring home awards, super proud of that. We have submitted for Kite Fest for best community event. We submitted for Mission Church as our volunteer of the year as their whole organization, and we also submitted for best community collaboration between the Lyon DDA and the New Hudson United Methodist Church. So I'm confident we are going to come home with more awards this year. So it's a great event, and it's a great way for us to connect with other communities. So really looking forward to that. For any other information, go to funonthegrand.com, and you can get a full list of everything that's going on, including everything that's happening with the other committees and the business events. So I think that's it. And Touch a Truck is coming up June 29th, I think. Yeah. 24th. I'll never get it right. Go to Fun on the Grand. Okay. It's been a long day.
Any questions for Dr. Paula? All right. Elisa's up with the Design and Appearance Committee report.
So we are full swing into our spring-summer season. So we now have flowers and banners out at the Grand River parking lot, and we've expanded our banners to the Southwest Ring Road, which is called, I think, West New Hudson Drive. Yep. Woohoo, I figured that out quietly. And so we own the parcel next to Zott Collision on the 5 Points intersection. So all those traveling through that would have noticed the Kite Festival notification and our beautiful feather banners. And then, when are we getting Music on the Grand out?
The banner went up today.
Okay, so it is there. Okay, good. So we have now switched over to our Music on the Grand season, and we are commissioning some cool notes and instruments to be created to add to the beautification of that corner and advertising. So we're very excited about getting those out in the next couple weeks. I think that's it.
Remind people about DIA too.
Oh yeah. As I mentioned last time, yes, we through August will have the Detroit Institute of Art, 7 different pictures. Angie, is
October.
Oh, it's really October? They're saying that long? Okay. And follow on social media to what Angie's up to with scavenger hunts and other things. Anything in particular I should say?
Yeah, it's at funonthegrand.com. Scroll down or events and inside out, all the information is there.
Okay, so Fun on the Grand. Events inside out.
Yep.
Go there and find out more about. And so there is one at the library. So that's cool because when it got put there, it was not open. So.
There's one right up front here too.
There is. There's two at this park area.
Okay, the organization committee did meet this morning, mostly talking about our workshop that everybody is invited to on the 29th at 5 o'clock here at the township, where we'll discuss ideas for the 2027 DDA budget. Any questions? And did Mr. Dolan send an update?
He did not. He sends his apologies. It was a very late notice that he got called away from the office, so he was not able to prepare anything for tonight.
Okay, I hope everything's okay. And then DDA director update, Amy.
Making a note for myself.
Sorry.
I included in your packets another monthly report, just a few things to highlight. I won't go through everything, obviously, but as Carissa mentioned, we've been able to really activate our Economic Vitality Committee in doing some more business retention visits and meeting some new business owners, so I've been able to attend quite a few of those. I also wanted to let the board know that I have been working with Oakland County Main Street and officially submitted our papers to move up to the next level for Main Street Oakland County finally after a couple of years. I haven't gotten an update on whether it's been accepted or not. I'm hoping to actually kind of hear something maybe tomorrow. I'm hoping maybe, or Thursday, maybe they're putting me off until Thursday when we have the event, we'll see. But we've done everything that we needed to do to be able to advance, so hopefully we'll get some notification on that. We have received some sponsorships over the last month. Rorschach Sons Caissons has sponsored our Touch a Truck event, so we had a $1,000 sponsorship that came in from them. We did receive the Oakland County Board of Commissioners special grant for $5,000 for our Music on the Grant, and we were reimbursed $1,500 for a technical assistance grant through Oakland County Main Street for our fundraising brochure, so we did receive those funds in. And then we've got some project updates in the report that was submitted in your packets too. I reached out to Main Street Oakland County. They are still waiting for some of the research to be completed on the Rice Street house. So as soon as I get the updates, I will share them with you. But as of last week, they didn't have anything finalized on that yet. They did request that when they do, that they'd like to come to a board meeting and share that information with you. So I said we would absolutely love that. And then, so everybody is aware, the building that the DDA owns over by Costello, we had the building official go over and do an inspection of that, and there are some concerns about some electrical and fire hazards. So we've been tasked with getting an electrician out there. I'm getting some quotes on what it would take to gut some of the old that's in there and update it, at least with the bare minimum for lighting, to ensure that it's not a fire hazard. They're also recommending a licensed mechanical contractor to check the HVAC, gas pipes in there to ensure it's a safe environment. So I'm reaching out to a couple to get some quotes on that service too. And then the executive committee has been kind of talking about what direction to go for, compare some numbers about, is it feasible for us to update that building to be able to utilize? Is it smarter for us to look at additional storage to move what small amount of stuff we do have there to another facility so that there's no issues with safety? So I'm going to be getting some quote on some storage spaces too moving forward. Outside of that, I also, let me see, wanted to give you the building department numbers from last month. In our commercial additions, we had approximately $220,000 invested right in our core, and that was some permits that were being pulled finally for Dr. Carey's office, which is right next to our Costello building. They should be laying the foundation for the new site there pretty soon. So we're looking forward to that addition in the area to help spruce things up along that stretch. ULB, which is in our industrial district, for commercial alterations. is looking at about $230,000 investment, which will be some additional build out of first floor office and also a mezzanine in their location. We had just over $30,000 invested in the DDA and signage, and that is primarily for the location for Comerica, which will be switching over to Fifth Third at our 5 Points intersection.
And it is. Someone just asked me.
Yep. And then for residential, we had about 12 permits pulled with an investment for new residential builds of just over $4 million. So with that, does the board have any questions about my report?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and now you're up again. Let's review the year-to-date budget, please.
Okay. I wanted to also share a notification with the full board. The executive board was made aware of this, but one of the things that was a big project for us the last couple of years was the renewal of our TIF plan with Oakland County. We were initially giving a cap of $17 million. That was our sunset amount. It wasn't a cap based on a time frame. It was a dollar amount. And we knew we were going to be hitting that total fairly soon, so that's why we made that big push to get that renewed last year. We were notified by Oakland County that we actually over-collected once that plan expired. There is a tendency for auditing to not happen till a good time after. So we realized that we were allotted extra funds at the old rate of 100% capture. The new agreement that we have with Oakland County, as you'll recall, is at a 50% rate for capture, and it doesn't include the millages for parks and for transit. So they had sent a request to the township treasurer for a repayment in the amount of $1,350,217.71. So when you see the budget, it's not going to appear in this year's budget. It will likely be the audited from last year. So I just want to make you aware of that. I included the Excel spreadsheet for this year's budget, and I made some adjustments based on requests at the last meeting to move the most current columns to the left, so it's a little bit easier to follow. So you can see the last report that we reviewed was in February. This one runs through May 11th. Just a few things that I noted on here that I wanted to make you aware of. You can see under the revenue, there was quite a jump in the grants and donations line item, which was the 674. That was because we were able to finally submit for that reimbursement from the Slotkin funding that we were awarded a couple of years ago. So that first reimbursement came back to us. And then in expenses, the only couple of things that I had flagged were our increases for the facade improvement grant, which was the 881.012. And that jumped to $20,000, and that was because of the Noble Fig grant we were able to finally award. And then under repairs and maintenance, account 930.000, there was a jump there to $6,700, and that was the tap fees that we had paid for the irrigation that's going to be taking place in the parking lot. So everything else fell in line with where we are this calendar year percentage-wise. Did anybody have any specific questions over any of the other line items that I can try to answer?
Amy, do you keep, and I might have asked this previously, so forgive me.
That's okay.
Do we have an Excel version of this that this came from?
Yes, I can send you the Excel, absolutely.
And just for
online,
the
I
board
posted
members.
as a PDF,
Yeah,
but
it
I
makes
can
sense
send
online. Does it have the listing of the month year, like every month instead of just the summarized year to date?
No, I just have this as the summarized. When I do the budget input quarterly, I put the new numbers in. I don't keep it by month.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't a budget question, but can you give us an update on the irrigation project?
Yep, the irrigation company said that they will likely be out next week. The tap has been installed, So they just need to hook the irrigation system up to that to be able to utilize it. So if they can get in there next week, likely by the following week, we'll have that system in place.
And then are we seeding?
I have to talk with DPW on that. I have not gotten that far and everything yet.
Okay. So. It might be good to do a site visit, actually prior to the 29th, so that we can put our 2027 ideas out there.
A site visit at the parking
lot, yeah.
Yeah, I can. If that's something you want to do offline, just get in touch with me and we can meet out there. If you want it to be a bigger group, just let me know and we can try to arrange that.
We can set something up and let people know that they're more than welcome to come and give their thoughts on parking lot landscaping.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the year-to-date budget? Next up is the Main Street Now conference evaluation.
Yep. And this was requested by the board, I believe a month or two ago, so I apologize it took me a little bit of time to get this to you. But I gave you a short breakdown of some of the sessions that I was able to attend at the National Main Street Conference. And just to highlight a couple of those with you, I also wanted to let you know that they do utilize an app for this session or for this conference, so we're able to download the PowerPoint presentations. So every one of the sessions that I attended, I also got the presentations for. So if you want some more detail or to see what presentations came with these, I would be glad to share those with you at any point. Just to highlight a few of them that I brought back. There was one that talked about effective communication through the noise, and that was specifically on how to target potential developers, how to reach and engage them. And they talked about the benefits of creating actually a LinkedIn account for your DDAs so that you can start to outreach with property owners and developers, because that seems to be the most utilized platform. And they talked about the importance of linking property availability and postings in your area through that platform, going on site, doing pictures and tours. So that was something that I thought was beneficial. One of the sessions that I attended also was an 8-point visual check for a better Main Street. And I thought this was really important when we start to look at our streetscape. They talked about specific ways to be more effective in engaging the community. They talked about the importance of doing actual field observations, doing walkthroughs of your current downtown area, inviting communities out, hosting events directly after those walkthroughs where you can break down what you saw, ideas, so that they're fresh in your mind. They also talked about the importance of, they refer to it as visual preference testing. Not everybody's always comfortable giving input in a public setting. So they really focused on making sure that you have ways for passive communication. So it may be having a poster board up where they can leave sticky notes with ideas, or having a map where they can star different locations and put ideas in there for that. I thought that was definitely something that we should look at when we're moving to that point of the streetscape design. They also talked about, the session was called Stop Doing It All, but it was more about how to engage with your downtown businesses, how to help market them. They talked about utilizing social media. One of the examples they gave was this one community does a What's Up Wednesday, where they go through every Wednesday to a different business and actually do a walkthrough just like you were a customer. How they drove there, what street they took, where the parking is, where they thought the shopping was the greatest in the area, how they checked out, showing, signage in the businesses. I thought it was just kind of a nice, you don't think of the whole process of how to get to the store. We just kind of show the pictures of once you're inside, but where is recommended parking? Is there construction going on? They also talked about utilizing some volunteer programs where we're specifically looking at flower pots and things like that, where they are looking not only for sponsorships for these things, but also volunteers that would take over and own some of those programs, where you could maybe adopt a pot, where that person would be specifically responsible for just watering, planting, and tending one of the flower pots that you have, or some different areas. So I thought things like those were beneficial. And the last one that I'll talk about is one that we're actually going to be requesting to go into next year's budget that I really thought was helpful. It was called a Building Together, and it's a collaboration and innovation grant program. And this was run by a smaller community, and it was specifically the funds were only given if 2 businesses were partnering together to submit for it. They did anything from $500 for each business or $1,000 for each business. Again, you had to apply together, and there had to be some sort of partnership idea, innovation idea. And they talked about that it's really important to have just a simple 1 or 2 page application that they can fill out within 15-20 minutes. It shouldn't be something that takes a long time. It should be funded right away. You shouldn't be worried about collecting so many of these receipts because it's a smaller amount, and it needs to be able to be utilized for the startup, for actual product supplies. It's not used for staffing or manpower, it's for the actual supplies for it. But one of the examples that they had given that I thought was really cool was a local brewer and a local soap maker, where when you're brewing the beer, there's oftentimes a lot of foam that gets wasted. I don't know the specifics of it because I'm not into the science, but somehow the materials in that foam can be utilized to help make soap. So they were using this foam from the brewer to make unique scented soaps, and then they themed them with like a porter's pie soap that they would sell at the brewery, or the brewery would host soap making nights. So those businesses are working together, and then the money went towards the startup for the product to be able to make those. So we talked about this specifically at one of our Economic Vitality Committee meetings, and we thought it would be a really cool program to try to encourage some of our businesses to partner together and do something unique like that in next year's calendar year. So they're making a request to get some funds for that next year's budget. So the presentation, like I said, I've got the PowerPoint in it. It goes through a lot more detail and has some examples of potential partnerships and the types of businesses that could partner together moving forward that you can reach out to, but we're going to be really active about targeting some specific businesses that we think would be a good fit to try to recruit some engagement, and then hopefully it'll kind of take off on its own. So I want to personally thank the board for helping me attend these types of events. They're great for ideas, for networking. Next year, Detroit is actually hosting the Main Street Conference, so we're very excited about that. We're looking to potentially for our community to be one of 4 others with, or 3 others, Wixom, Highland, ourselves, and South Lyon, to maybe do a walking tour or a biking tour. These conferences, usually the first couple of days, offer off-site tours for people coming in. And we're brainstorming some ideas with these other communities on what we could offer that would be unique in the area. We're trying to plan something along the bike trail that we could possibly utilize for recreation in your downtowns. But I highly encourage if anybody is on the board that's interested in attending these conferences, even if it's the Michigan Downtown Association Conference, the ICSC Conference, I'd love to get more people engaged in these things next year. So I'd like to see our budget increase for training so that we can specifically get some of these members out and attend these conferences. You'll learn quite a bit, and there's great networking and communication and ideas. So thank
Amy,
you again.
what's the date of the 2027 meeting in Detroit?
It's in May.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
So is that something that we can attend then? Okay.
You've got an education and training budget if you want to put it. It is very typical to see board members there, township, city officials, municipality members there. So
is that going to be a bit more? I mean, I anticipate their registration's a bit higher than some of the other
registration,
stuff.
I want to say it's May 3rd through the 6th.
Okay.
Just so I got that pulled up.
Thanks.
Usually it's around $600 or $700 for registration. Room and board is where it usually gets pricey, but with it being in Detroit this year, if you wanted to go for a couple of days, we'd be able to save on that cost if we wanted to, or if the board wants to fund it. It's an investment, but I think it's worth it.
Do you know where it's being held?
They haven't made that available yet.
So what is our usual training? It's not usually that high, is it?
We usually have around, I think, let me see what it was this year.
5,000. Yeah, so we might need to bump that up a little bit to,
Yeah.
because each of us are gonna take
Yeah.
close to
there's a lot.
1,000.
You said it goes through
There's a
3
lot of
through
interesting
5 or
ones.
3 through 6?
3 through 6.
6.
3-6.
I
Just
think I
4
was
days?
wrong, because it's usually Monday through Wednesday.
Okay, yep, that's
The
right.
pre-training
So it's
days are
fine.
Sunday, so it goes through Wednesday.
Yeah, so again, when we do our meeting on the 29th.
Yeah. Make a recommendation for that,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Any further questions for Amy? Okay, so now we'll return back to discussion on the minutes for March and May.
Is that me?
Sure.
So, okay, so I just, and again, if everybody's like, no, it's fine the way it is, but I think like, I know Deb has always said our minutes are, the actual written minutes are our official minutes. And so if there's reports or things within those minutes that just say a report was given, that's not really documentation of our meeting. So I think it does need to be expanded a little bit and then perhaps have timestamps for those. So, because the example that I had, and I left everything on my desk at the office, but was at the, I think in the, it was either the March, I think it was in the March minutes, it showed the beginning of the report started at like minute 30, timestamp 30 minutes, and then the next section after the reports was at like 2 hours and something, and so that
144.
yeah. So I'm like,
Be good to,
if somebody wants to see a specific report, now they still have to. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do it either way. We had advised Kelly, who had done our minutes previously, that we wanted to pare everything down. We can ask her to still include a couple sentences for each update, and then also include the timestamps under every update if that would satisfy.
I think so.
your
And I mean,
request.
Matt, is there a, should the written minutes have something more specific than just a report was given?
Minutes have a way of ranging a whole spectrum of levels of completeness. I mean, the minimum standard for the Open Meetings Act is the minutes are simply a straightforward recitation of the business that was conducted, specifically any motions that were made and the votes upon them and who was in attendance. So anything beyond that, it's not a matter of the Open Meetings Act. It really is more a matter of the board's preference and how it wants to document its proceedings. And with a board like this that is very focused on reports, it makes sense that you would want to include more detail with that. So there's really a lot of room to roam, to be honest with you.
Well, and I also see that if we are going to review minutes, I don't really want to go back and watch another hour and a half of something I sat through.
Right.
So I would like to see just a summary of,
And this was
you know,
prior to us recording too, wasn't it, the March meeting?
No, I think
No, March was our first meeting.
March was
Yeah.
the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went from
No.
nothing, not a whole lot, to way over the top, and now we're back a little bit too far. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think having just a little more content under each one would make a lot of sense. The time stamping is a huge improvement for those who want to just focus in on a specific side. I didn't check. Did we get the transcription added to the DDA board meetings?
Yes.
I think that was a topic last month.
Yep.
Okay. And then just another mention on here. I know in a lot of the other meeting minutes, when there's a motion and it's approved, it's usually listed as unanimous approval instead of approved. I know it sounds like a really minor thing, but we call out when there's an objection to it or a nay vote. But I think it makes sense to include unanimous approval, just to clearly state what happened in the meeting.
I can request that, absolutely.
Matt, would we be able to just attach the reports? Because now that we have the consultants and the director doing a report, could it just be attached to the minutes?
That would be a bit unconventional,
Okay.
to be honest with you. I
Okay.
mean, I think I've probably seen it in some communities, but that would be unusual.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like that would also get really big.
Yeah, exactly.
So just trying to keep it so that it's a good summary for us to review and say, yes, I agree with what we discussed. And
I mean, a way to do that would just be report distributed, and then anybody could go look at that report.
Yeah, the packet online. Yep.
But that does bring up a good point. I think with the reviews that Brian and Leslie are providing. It'd be helpful just to, in the minutes, to just capture the topic that they touched on, and that could even just be pulled from their report. Instead of listing the whole report itself, kind of an in-between, where we at least hit the topics, like Brian discussed these 3 projects. It could just be the line item, and then if we want more detail, we can refer back to the full packet that he provided, just to give that the context of what was actually reviewed versus.
I like the idea, though, that Elisa said of mentioning that the report is available.
Yeah, agreed.
So I guess we'll just keep working with it and keep tweaking.
I don't think we can approve them if we want to see these changes made then.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see a little bit of expansion to that.
Yep.
And again, she doesn't have to be word for word verbatim, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can touch base with her offline and give her this feedback, and then we can come back with new minutes proposed for the next meeting.
Perfect.
So I think we'll need a motion to do that.
A motion to table both sets of minutes. You can do it in one motion. That would be fine.
I'll take it.
Mike's got it. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Take it away, Mike.
Can I just make one more? Leslie, I love this thing. And so Leslie does a great job of like 2 to 3 sentences max of telling whatever it was. So like,
I know. She was all worried about that homework and she aced it.
yeah.
I was typing fast.
So I'm going to make a motion to table the approval of the March 10th, 2026 meeting minutes, as well as the May 12th, 2026 meeting minutes, until there's a revised with the adjustments that we noted today.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Unanimous approval.
I'm going to get a hard time for that.
Call to the public. Come on up, Robin.
I was going to put you through that again.
Thank you.
Robin, you know, I guess I'm talking for myself, but I think I'm talking for a lot of residents. We would like to see, like it used to be 30 years ago, where DDA, zoning, planning commission, and township board all had to do a line-by-line expense before the public, not just approve consent agenda. We want to know where our money's being spent. Right now, that's not happening. From what I understand, there was like $780,000 plus spent on the ring road since 2017. And we still don't have the ring road connection. So I'm calling for Lyon Township to do the right thing and go back to line by line accounting. So I would hope the Lyon Township DDA, Planning Board, and Township Board would do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie Lynn Gibbons. So after hearing all about the Main Street Conference, I was just curious if you were aware of any other communities in the state who also had a data center in their DDA, because I think that might be a helpful resource for us. So just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Okay, so back to the buildings. We already have a lot of vacant buildings, actually, if you look at the four corners. The White House, I'm going to nail you on this all the time, that White House has to go. It said in the minutes back in April, a year ago, the builder said he would take it down. It's an eyesore. And you have property that we haven't been able to fill already, and now we're going to have 6 years of construction, if our project goes through, of trucks through your downtown strip that you guys are trying to make beautiful. How's that going to work? I think I was amazed. I think that suggestion of nothing done until we see what this is going to do. Saline has been inundated with trucks, and they're a 4-lane, maybe a 5-lane freeway through there. We're going to have 2 lanes with massive amounts of gravel trucks going up and down Grand River. What's that going to do to the business? You're going to have someone coming in and going, oh, I want to get that little vacant shop that the sandblaster is going to back out of here shortly. And this is what I'm going to have to deal with for the next 6 years. You're going to kill any investment into our downtown area. And the flower pots and the things, all of that is beautiful and great, but it's not going to look good in front of vacant buildings. Now we have the library vacant. It's expanding. It's not getting better, it's growing. And that's scary, very scary to me. The construction is going to just, and the clubhouse. What are we doing with the clubhouse? We were promised cooking classes. Is that still going to happen? The clubhouse at Coyote Hills? No? Is that now a DPW?
I think come on the 29th with ideas. Come on the 29th with ideas. I hope you come to the I hope that you will come to the budget meeting.
I will say, I'm just going to jump in here, and I apologize. The public comment is one-way communication, so I don't want to. I'm not trying to defer you,
No,
Amy.
I
At any
understand.
point, I am just saying though, Amy. At any point, you can contact me in the office, and I would love to answer some of these questions for you. I'm always available to talk.
I just think I'm not the only person with these questions and with these fears.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to all know that it is conversations that everybody is having and worries that we are having that's going to disrupt this area and could be a detriment to it, okay? And it's where I want to live.
Thank you, Amy.
Also, is there supposed to be cars going into the property that the data center is going to be on from Milford? Because there's tracks from that little parking area at the nature center out into the field, and now there's stakes out there. I thought they were not supposed to use anything but the back access to get into that property. You can see the tracks.
Ma'am, your time's up now.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening. Good evening. My name's Jeff Barker, up again for the second time. A couple of quick points. One of them was, and I realize we have the Get Smart cone of silence or whatever. Mr. Kesey had mentioned working on the moratorium. I know that was really based on size of building and construction. Can anybody describe where we are with that? Is there currently a moratorium or not? Okay, but that does not include the proposed Project Flex, is that correct? Okay. The other thing is, somebody had mentioned to me about the meetings and the involvement, obviously, with the Project Flex. That's really increased a lot of the focus and scope of meetings. A lot of other areas around the state, I believe they have a way that you can submit questions even when you're doing it remotely. I mean, either like Zoom or Teams. Has the township ever contemplated maybe a relationship or purchasing, and I don't think it's overly expensive, for like Microsoft Teams? I believe they're considered probably the better. Zoom, I guess, has had instances of hacking and not being as secure, but I think it would be a good idea to have a Microsoft Teams link for all of the meetings, for all of the boards, so that questions can be submitted. Obviously, it would entail somebody to monitor those and provide responses. I guess another thing is, I'm not really sure about the responses on the township website. A lot of the responses seem to be very generic and and I get it. I mean, there must be all these questions, and it's kind of like a checking the box of, yeah, we're kind of doing this or we'll kind of do that. But I don't think that a lot of the responses are very meaningful in terms of the information that's conveyed. So I think if that could be worked on, that would be helpful. And I'm out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Did anybody else have a comment before we close? Okay, close the call to public. Looking for one final.
I will make a motion to adjourn the Lyon Township DDA board meeting.
So moved.
I did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, this closes the meeting for June 9th,